Hi, my name's Nick Best. I'm CEO here at Astranti. A little story for you. I remember teaching a case study, sitting in a class, and what we would do is we would set mock exams, and students would do the mocks. I'd be kind of working through the mock as well, showing what I was going to feed back on and what the key points were. But just watching different people in the way that they worked and linking that in to the script that I ended up marking. One thing I noticed was this. There were some people in the room and their working style was this. They'd have the question, they'd be looking at that question, and they would be, I could see them stop and think and then type. And then they'd get to that bit and they stop, they think, then they type. And there was another group of people that would just be typing. Bit of stop, typing. Bit of stop, typing. And the ones that stopped produced short answers. Now, what you might think is they were short answers, but maybe the quality was so much higher they were getting good marks. No, it wasn't that way at all. Those people that were just going for it, going boom, 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 boom. Okay, what's my next point? Boom, 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 boom. In fact, hopefully in what they've done is in the planning stage, they know what points they're going to make. If you watch my previous video, we do a plan up front and we put the headings into the script on the screen in front of us. So it's there. And so they see the point and then they go, right, yep, and I'm going to make my point and I'm going to explain my point. I'm going to relate it to the scenario. Boom, what's the next one? Make my point, explain. You know, they're speeding through. The quality of those answers, honestly, no worse than the people that would sit back, stop, think, type. The only difference was the people that took their time just produced short answers. And the difficulty is I came to market and you go, yeah, okay, that's a good point. And that's a good point. But it stopped. I had a student who his biggest weakness, he failed the case study 10 times, and it was simply because he never wrote enough to get the full marks. He was one of these people that would take everything very steadily and very slowly. Length of answer matters. Actually, if you talk to CIMA, they really don't want length of answer in, and the official CIMA view is it doesn't matter how long your answer is, it's about the points you make. And I completely get that, but the difficulty is if you make very few points, you're just not going to score high marks because there's less to mark. Okay, the scripts that are long, actually, another advantage of the scripts that are long with, one's got 10 points and the other's got 5. Well, the one with 10, maybe there's 7 really good points in there and 3 are a bit weak. Well, the 7 really good ones score really well. The ones with 5, they may also be very good, but they've only scored the points on those 5 where the other person's got 7. So they're automatically going to get more. But like I say, the longer scripts don't tend to reduce in value because what the people have done is they've practiced working at speed. They've practiced, once there's an idea, just coming up with that, and they've got the point, explain, relate, point it. They've got that down to a T because they've been practicing that. So they don't have to stop and think because it's become second nature because of the practice that they've been doing. I remember back in the old case study formats where you used to actually have to do your script on Word and then you'd send in the Word document and that would be what would be. It was Word and Excel, okay, but the written bit was in Word. And of course what you could do there was you could see the actual word count for what you'd produced. And I did a survey after one of those exams to my database. And what it was, what did you think of the exam? And one of the things that we put in there was, what was your word count? Because what I like to do was I like everyone to be able to see. It was an online spreadsheet. Everyone could then see how many words everyone else wrote. And you could get a comparison for lengths. Some in a 3-hour exam. Back then it was 3 hours 20 minutes actually. So some in that 3 hours 20 minutes were doing 4,000, 4,500 words. Others just 2,000 words. One of those sittings, we had about 20 people who filled in that line of the number of words. And then we went back and we saw who passed and failed. And the result was remarkable. Everyone that had written 2,800 words or more passed, and everyone that had written fewer than that failed. Now, that was one sample of one exam, and I know people that have written less that have passed, and I know people that have written more that have passed, but it just brought home to me just how important the length of answer was. And it's not really the length of answer, it's the number of points that you make. You make more points, there's more to be marked, you will get those points out. And actually, also, if a couple of your points are less good, and let's face it, a couple of them are always going to be less good, you've just got some more good ones. There's no negative marking. No one's looking at those bad points going, oh, well, that's not so good, I'm going to mark you down. It doesn't work like that. They'll just move on to the next one, and no marks for that bit. Move on to the next one, get the extra marks for the next points there. So, what does this mean for you? First thing you need to do is you need to practice and practice and practice. You need to practice planning, then structure, and then point, explain, relate. Point, explain, relate, as I explained in the last video, so that becomes second nature to you. You also just need to work at pace. A little exercise I do in front of classes sometimes is I give students a question and I say, you do the question. It's a part of a question. You do that 10 mark section. And I'll do it as well. And I'll do it live. I've not looked at this either. This is going to be you doing it live, me doing it live. And the pressure is really on because I am writing out a script. And you know what that class are expecting, be it online or the one that's in front of me? They're expecting me to come up with the perfect answer. I kind of have to deliver. And I tell you what, in that, 20 minutes that I'm working on that, I am absolutely, completely focused. I am on it. I am typing quickly. My brain is working overtime. I'm boom, 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 boom. I'm getting my structure. I'm getting my headings. And pretty much always, let's say it was, I was trying to get 5 points out, 2 paragraphs each. I will get there. And I will write answers. And people often, I'm kind of showing off when I'm doing it, partly. But I'm also trying to show that it's possible. Because people will have, it'd be like the first day, when it's new, and people will have kind of got 3 or 4 paragraphs down. Because what I'm trying to do is make the point I'm trying to share with you now. They've got 3 or 4 paragraphs down, and I go, how many paragraphs? 4. Okay, it's out of 10. You've got 4 marks. You failed. How many have I got? I've got 10. I could have 10 out of 10. I could have 100% here if they're all good. And I've done my point. I've done my explain. I've done my relating. I've followed what I teach all the way through. And they can see, oh, okay, you can do that. I've just got to practice. I've got to work hard because actually it's just practice the reason I can do that. There's nothing else that's special. I've just done it for a long time. You haven't got the time. You haven't got 20 years to get good at that. But what you have got is you can practice the structure. You can practice working quickly. And I would suggest to you, carry on working quickly in your practice and just try and increase the quality. It's very, very rare when we're marking scripts, we're going back saying, you're just making so many rubbish points. It's normally, okay, there's one less one, but there's another good one. That's good, and that's good, and that's good. So worry less about quality in your practice time and worry about quantity. The thing that makes the difference is both the quality and the quantity, and you need to practice both. People often practice the quality, getting the right point. They don't practice the quantity. So there you have it. Point, evidence, relate. Point, explain, relate. Okay. And secondly, work quickly and practice working quickly. And leading into that, do get your mocks marked, do get feedback on those mocks, because then you'll get to see specifically where your strengths and weaknesses are. So you're producing it very, very quickly, it'll actually give you a bit of confidence then. Actually what you've written is okay, and actually writing more points did actually score you more marks as well. So do that too. Okay. In my next video, I'm going to be sharing some more lessons that I've learnt. And I'm also going to be explaining to you a little bit about how we structure our course in order, all the things I've been teaching you here, how do we get that into the course and everything that we do? So what does it take to pass the case study? How does our course facilitate all those things to make sure you come out having passed? So that's what I'm going to be doing in my next video. So I'll see you then.